So I never get around to getting these garden tours filmed because I always want to get the yard cleaned up before I go. But right now you can see we got the baby area, which takes up a good chunk of the edge of the porch these days, all the way around. And then if we walk off the porch and start over here in the same corner where I usually start every time, right before the trellis starts, we have some squash or zucchini, which the labels fell off. As usual, I have unidentified plants in the yard. Over here is a honey nut squash, which is up here somewhere. And then some dill in the same pot. Over here on the trellis, we have in the corner a giant marigold. And then a whole bunch of tomatoes. We've got fruit down here on these guys, which is our Black Prince. And our gold medal has some fruit. Here's the Floridade in the front, getting nice and bushy. It's my first year growing the Floridade, so I'm hoping to have some good luck with that. And then we got our National Pickling Cucumber, which is all the way up at the top. And look at these huge leaves. Those are absolutely awesome. Sadly, I have had to cut off pieces because I've had vine borers and pickle worms already. First week of May, and they are out full force. And then going down, we have some other heirloom tomatoes. Finally getting to see a little bit of action here on our Chinese red noodle long bean. We'll let those plump up, and then I'll have my very first red long beans this year. Some more marigolds. And then, let's see, we've got, that's a brown sugar tomato, and then coming up here is the salt and pepper cucumber. And he's got fruit hanging right there. And then over here we have our snowball tomato, our Core de Boo, and Dr. White Cheese tomato. Those are all looking really good, nice and tall. Not fruiting yet, but it is already hot, so I'm hoping to still get something. And then we've got cucamelons just taking off all through here on top of it. Let's see, there's one right there. So hopefully those will get going. I've just gone through and put tomatoes in, tomatoes out. Trying to think of what we actually took out. I can't really recall. But we've got brown sugar, big Italian plum, another Dr. White cheese. I believe it's a black cherry, some more marigolds. We got our Itachi cucumber, which has got a few fruits on it right now. Another flower right back there. There's been really bad powdery mildew. Let's see. This tomato plant here, I may be taking out. It's possibly got beet curly top virus, which is spread by an insect. I forget which one offhand, but it's one of the little leaf bugs, and it will infect the tomato plant. There's no fruit on it that I'll let ripen out, so I'm probably going to pull that one tomorrow. I've got more stuff to go in here. The purple pole beans, they're absolutely gorgeous. Making plenty of little beans in here, and they're a good size bean too, so you can see. And then we've got more tomatoes. Another tomato that's got to come out tomorrow. I actually, for a long time, thought this was too much nitrogen because I had one with too much nitrogen and it looked very similar. However, this is spread by whiteflies, and this is tomato yellow leaf curly virus. And this one will come out tomorrow. I wasn't worried about it infecting other plants because it is spread by a bug. I don't really have a whitefly issue. But apparently, in passing through, I did get one to land on there and infect my plant. Here's a mystery tomato. I believe it's going to be a big Italian plum just by what the fruits are looking like. Sweet potatoes. They're absolutely so happy with this hot, warm weather lately. And then down here we have the rattlesnake pole beans. Very nice, prolific plant. They produce good right down the stem all the way. Plenty of beans. And next to it is the 15-year-old cave bean. Not as many beans, but it's got a lot more growth down here. And you can see it's starting to set some good amount of beans down there. So I think the taller parts of the plant just aren't really putting a bunch of fruit out yet. Here's the striped carousel cucumber. It's a fat little thing. Pink brandywine tomato. The cauliflower that I thought I was going to save seeds from. I don't know if I've done something wrong or if it was just bad pollination, but I haven't seen any seeds coming out of these dead flowers. So I'm going to research it a little bit. I've never grown out cauliflower to save seeds, so maybe it wasn't pollinated. Maybe I just need to learn a little more before I try and get in there and do it. I pulled up these peppers today, moved them into pots so I can clean out this, move the celery, and replant something else in that grow bag. Here's our corn. The corn is actually looking really, really good. Pretty much every plant produced at least 2 ears. Some of them produced 3. We'll see how it is. Another plant that had to get chopped due to a vine borer today was this zucchini. I am going to go back to injecting the stems of the big squash types with BT. I did it last year, and then I figured, oh, well, I didn't really get any difference between not doing it. However, after as many plants as I've lost in the last couple days, I am going to go ahead and inject the plants this year again. We got a couple more tomatoes. I did pull out the Everglades just because the pot was getting kind of depleted. I wanted to put in some new Everglades plants, so I went ahead and pulled the old one out. And then the superstars of May and April have definitely been the melons. A couple days ago I showed you this Nor de Carmes melon here, and it was barely the size of a nickel. And look, it's almost a small handful now. That's just going to be a beauty. I can't wait to taste it. Let's see, we've got this big Charleston gray watermelon growing down here. We've got quite a few of the ice cream green machine melons growing. Another one sitting down here. There's one hiding over there. Let's see, there's 2 more. I haven't really looked down here yet. No, I don't see anything today on the ground. But yeah, the melons and sunflowers are just really happy. You can see that with just a couple of melon plants, it's completely covered a 5-foot tall and about 8-9 foot long section of trellis. And that's just a couple of plants. And then we go back down. I've got some onions, some marigolds, Brussels sprouts that didn't really do too well. I keep leaving it in because it hasn't produced a seed pod. However, I don't think the Brussels sprouts are going to develop before the heat comes. I finally planted my banana melon, which is a new variety. I cannot wait to try. It's supposed to be similar to a cantaloupe as far as the fruit, but about 10 to 15 pounds and oblong in shape. I'm so dying to try this one. And then over here we got the Orangello watermelons. Right here we've got that Wapsipinicon peach tomato, which is a fuzzy skinned tomato. Well, you can't really see it, but it's supposed to be a fuzzy skinned tomato, which I've never had before, and it ought to be interesting to try that. The cowpeas are finally starting to grow just a little bit. It kind of took them a little bit once they went into the soil. It looks like they got some aphids going on down here. See if we can see it. Yep. I'll just hose them off tomorrow. Oh, and this is the Petite Gris melon. Another one that Kiki recommended. It's one of her favorite melons that she gave me to grow this year. So another one I'm very excited to be trying. And then this corner here, we just have not gotten to replanting yet. I'm not exactly sure what I'm even putting there at this point. Let's see. These are our pumpkins. There's a Gerardale pumpkin, which is a blue pumpkin. And that is a Big Moon pumpkin, which is supposed to be a large or giant size variety. These are the onions we're growing for seed. I'm probably going to put a bag over these so that I don't lose all my seeds, because you can see some of the flowers are coming off and we're starting to make little seed pods. Celery, which is unhappy. It's getting too hot, but I do want to keep it for seed. A little red cabbage, which somehow I missed. And we've got all these peanuts, which have come back to us from last year, which is awesome because I'm really late starting peanuts. I started them yesterday. Hopefully we'll have sprouts in a few days. But I really did kind of miss the boat on getting those in early. We've got some of our sweet peppers back here. I do need to fertilize over here. I'm sure you can tell everything's a little dingy in color. I believe that one's a Seminole pumpkin, or this one's a Seminole pumpkin. Actually, I think it's this front one. It's a Seminole pumpkin. Hasn't done much. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed, but I'm just going to plant more anyway because I don't see that one doing a whole heck of a lot. And then we got some small little pepper plants. All of this stuff over here in the ground desperately needs to be fertilized. I can't keep the nutrition in the soil. It just kind of leaches out into the sand below no matter how much I amend or dump stuff on top of here every so many months. It doesn't work. So that's why I do grow in pots. The dinosaur kale. Absolutely gigantic. Hopefully I'll get some seeds from that one this year. These are my peas, which are still hanging out because I have more pods to pick for seed. Do not remember which variety I planted over here. All I remember is these were my favorite peas this year. None of them made it into the house. They were all yard candy. And I don't know which variety it is, but I'm saving the seeds and I'm definitely growing them again. And this is our sunflower tree. Isn't that a gorgeous chocolate cherry sunflower? Even after the conures have picked apart the top half. I mean, it's a good 3 or 4 foot over the top of the fence. And just look at all these flowers. And I think because of this sunflower kind of being a beacon up over top of the yard, it's actually helped bring a lot of bees back into the yard because we have been really deficient on bees this year. My eggplant, which looks a little mad at me, and my callaloo, which is back after getting hit with some caterpillars. I had to spray it down with BT, chop it down almost halfway to the ground, and now it's actually turning into a huge bush. So that's one plant that's not so unhappy with me right now. It's just been so hot. I have neglected a lot of things. I've had a lot going on. And the garden does get deprived a little bit in the summertime. Well, it's not summertime, but it feels like summertime when you live in Florida. And these are all baby plants that need to be up potted, moved, or in somehow make their way out into the garden. But that's pretty much the first week of May garden tour. This is the disaster land that is the porch right now. And we're going to get these plants all moved, separated. Here's the 2 pepper plants that I dug up from in the yard today to repot. We'll get them squared away, and they will go back out under the fence line with fresh, nice soil, plenty of fertilizer, and we'll see how much they want to do for us this summer. But that's about it, and I hope you guys all enjoy gardening. If you're outside in the heat, remember, drink water, get into the shade when you can. Don't overdo it. But again, even if you can do 5 minutes a day, get out there, do something. The plants will make you feel better. Sign off for my beginning of May garden tour. We're looking at these gorgeous sunflowers. I just want to ask you guys quickly to go ahead and subscribe to my channel or like this video if you enjoy my garden tours. I was reading through some of my YouTube statistics, and it actually said that approximately 97.5% of my videos are viewed by non-subscribed people. So I don't know if my videos aren't coming across well, or if you guys just forget to hit the subscribe button. But please, help me out. Subscribe to my channel so you can get updates when I do new garden tours. Thank you guys for watching.